Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you our first speaker, Howard Falco. Impressive, amazing. He's a mental strength expert and author. He has been exceptionally helpful to top athletes, corporate executives. We all deal with mental weaknesses. And Howard is here today to share with us uh, a take of his expertise and his read on what's going and give us some kind of insight as to how, from who we are and what we see, we can make a difference around ourselves. Thank you so much, Howard. We are happy to see you here. Oh, you look amazing. Look at that. That is a black tie. You got it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Raquel. My thanks to the Bervann Foundation and to the Andrea Bocelli Foundation for hosting this incredible event, for the introduction, and the great honor of being able to share this work on mindset and mental strength with all of you today. I am truly honored to be here. The time's going to fly by, so I'm going to be very direct and straight to the point, offering you some of the key things that I've learned helping thousands of individuals and top-level athletes and executives to the awareness and mindset that helps to overcome challenges and reach the highest level of performance and results. I'm going to start with a statement that I open with in every talk that I give, and that is simply this: if you knew how powerful you really are, you would never stop smiling. My work centers on the understanding that our thoughts and our beliefs have a profound impact on what we create and experience in our lives. And this is something that's been verified by science in the field of quantum mechanics over the last 80 years, or about 80 years or so ago, when they found out how energy actually turns into matter. And what I'm going to talk about in relation to energy turning into matter is how our thoughts end up becoming our experience. The well known Danish theoretical physicist Niels Bohr once famously said, "Those who are not shocked by quantum theory have not understood it." So, this is why self awareness and self understanding is so critical to creative power. You have to be aware of what you believe to be true, because that is the driver of the way you shape your experience of life. So, in order to change what you've experienced and hence have a ripple effect in the world, self awareness is the very first step. So, the main question is, what is the optimal state of mind for creating the best results? How do I get myself into that place? And what is that state? What does it feel like? What is the experience like? The most powerful state of mind is a peaceful and balanced state of mind, because this is when we can see and believe in more of the truth of infinite possibilities. I think a little of Val's story coming here and what he's accomplished over the course of his lifetime is a great testament to exploring and experiencing infinite possibilities. And I know so many people on this call have also had similar paths. So this is when we can operate out of our greatest talents, when we see a window of hope and possibility that is infinite. This is when our energy is the clearest and strongest and is working in the most harmony with life. And this is a key statement, because it's not just our actions that create what we experience. What I've come to understand in my work is that somehow life knows what we believe is true and is trying to provide us the conditions, the people, the places, and the events to help us make that true. We still have to do our part. So it's a very powerful process. So when we're in disharmony, we close ourselves off to what's possible. We limit our energy and actions. And because of this, time seems to stretch as it relates to what we want to happen. We're, in a sense, working against our intentions and wishes. So whether it's an athlete who's trying to get to the next level in sports, whether it's in your personal relationships, business, or even in trying to improve your health or dealing with a situation like we are now. So the next question is, how does one relieve disharmony in their mind in order to get into that peaceful state where they are open to this great power, or what's called the zone by so many great athletes and business people? And I'll answer that question in a second, but I want to stop here and see if there's any questions from the host.
I do have a question. How do we get to the idea of even thinking about us as a solution in a period like this, because it appears that we have always been looking for Google to find an answer, the phone to find an answer, somebody to blame or to ask something. Now that we're quarantined and we only have to look at ourselves, how do we get to that state of mind?
Right. And that's a great question. And that's why what I'm offering through this work is that we are all made up of energy. At the core of each one of us, we're energy like everything else in the entire existing universe. So we have a quality to our energy. And as we raise, some people say your vibration, your mental state, that has an effect. It has an effect on our immediate family, the people we're around, and that ripple goes out. So our level of, quote, consciousness or our level of awareness does have an impact. So each person can do their part by working to understand that more and continue to raise their sense of hope, optimism, the subtle effects of this on our lives in the way we treat other people, and then the domino effect from them to other people and how it ripples its way around the world is astonishing. We have so much power in us, but we've never been truly taught, and this is why I'm working so hard to get this into schools. We've never been truly taught how powerful we are and how our thoughts are so connected to what unfolds for us. But the cool thing is at any moment we can change that. So even in our homes, in our apartments, or wherever we're at through this, just simply raising our state of mind through a greater understanding of ourselves can immediately shift things on a global level.
But Howard, do you think we can really get there when people are like, how will I pay my rent? How will I save my business? How can I even walk on the street without my neighbor giving me this? Like, how do we get calm? I feel like a lot of people say that it's wealthy people who can do that, but people are really struggling. People are going through hell with this thing. How do they get to a point where, listen, it's all going down around me, but I'm going to collect myself and I'm going to get to the solution through me?
Well, I think you have to ask yourself, how does a negative attitude help you? How does that serve you? It doesn't. It makes things worse. It complicates the problem. It puts you further down the dark hole. So this is where we bring in the essence of faith. And I mean faith from a universal perspective, in an understanding that I've never understood truly how my attitude, how my energy can affect this. If I can just have faith to get through this, I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent the next week, but I'm going to have faith. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to see the magic that comes into my life. I have seen this hundreds and thousands of times with individuals. People thought they would never find love in their life and end up getting married. Athletes that didn't know how they were going to survive if they didn't perform well, and they step into a greater state of themselves and they let go and magic happens. So there is a part of this that you cannot know. That's the part that has to be filled with faith. Look, throughout millions and trillions and billions of years of all the transformations of energy and matter, here we are right now, listening to these words. That in itself is a miracle. And I often tell people your existence in life as matter is the self-evident truth that you're matter. Life is not going to leave you, but it is going to nudge you to a greater sense of understanding. And that's what challenge is about. So the second question that I presented was, how does one relieve disharmony and get into this peaceful and powerful state of mind? So to be in harmony with life is to be in a state of non-resistance. Now, I'm not saying that if you're being chased by a bear that you don't resist the bear or you don't run. That's part of survival in life. But what I'm saying is that before you can change your circumstance, you must come to a full acceptance with what is. That doesn't mean you condone it. That doesn't mean you want it for tomorrow, but you have to at least be in a state of mind where you're acknowledging it, because otherwise you're going to be like a deer in the headlights, and a deer in the headlights can't react because it hasn't accepted what it's looking at yet. So, you have to get through the state of paralysis back to action. You have to be fully honest with yourself and the current situation to harness the greatest of your power and what I call right action. And right action is what's aligned with your intent. You have to be in that state of awareness where you know exactly what the next step is to do to get you closer to what you want. And you have to be aware of any, like an athlete has to be aware of any weakness in their game. If they're afraid to look at a weakness, with many that I've worked with, then time is going to stretch. But the minute they're able to look at it and turn it into a strength, things change. A great business person has to have his or her pulse fully on all aspects of the business to keep it flowing well. So with any challenge we're facing, We must be in a total understanding that this is the new normal until it isn't anymore, and operate from this point with a positivity and an optimism.
I want to understand if I'm getting what you're saying correctly. Are you saying that it's time to move away from the pride and apply a little bit of humility? Accept that this is actually happened because a lot of people who are very close to me until this day are still treating this thing as something that's outside. Is it time to accept this thing and to release that power that we thought we had?
If your intent is to be in the most optimal state of mind that is in this constant process of creation, intuition, the zone that I mentioned, then yes, the quicker you can accept this is real. Because if you're like an ostrich with the head in the sand, it's going to catch up with you, and then you're going to be behind the curve. So to be in front of it in your life, to be able to look at things not from any standpoint of guilt or shame or regret or worry, but from a sense of, okay, the one constant in the universe, what is that? It's change. So as Bruce Lee famously said, to be like water is to flow with life. That's the person who's in the Zen mind, who's in the optimal, incredible state of mind and faith with creation, with divinity. And that's what allows you to gain favor, as I would say, or as they would say in religion. It's what allows you to gain favor is when you're in harmony with things. You understand that it's got a purpose that we don't know yet. It'll unfold over the years, and the farther we get from it, the more we'll look back and see why this came into our life, what it taught us as humanity, and how to move forward. But to answer your question, yes, the longer you delude yourself from anything, whether it's in sports, in relationships, in business, or something like this globally, the more pain and suffering there is. So the quicker you can face the truth, acknowledge it, and move in a way that's aligned with what you want to create, the more you are in control of time.
But how do you find that way? How do you find that way?
So I'm going to use a present moment example. So everybody's doing it right now. Not because of me, I'm just the vestibule at this moment. But people opened up to this idea of learning a little bit today, opening their minds. There's a reason for it, for every single person that's hearing these words. The universe is just using this moment to provide insight. So you start with an intent. Now, there's a couple components to this. It's not just your intent, but you have to be willing to receive and experience a different state of mind. If you're used to negativity and drama, and that's comfortable to you, you're going to seek it in the world. So you have to be tired enough to really fight for happiness, to fight for what you want to be, what you want to experience. And it's not always going to be flowing perfectly like this moment. So this is a moment that we're being challenged for our faith, our resources, and our ability to honor ourselves.
That's right on the point. And I want to touch on before we let you go, Howard. You wrote a book, actually two books. Do you want to take a minute to kind of talk a little about that?
Sure. So these are the two books. I Am, The Power of Discovering Who You Really Are, is just about massive self-awareness and understanding, which is your greatest power. And Time in a Bottle, Mastering the Experience of Life, offers how you can take control of time through a greater understanding of your own self and how life works with you through your thoughts and actions. So you can align yourself more with what you want to accomplish. And this is what I've taught the thousands of individuals, athletes on a professional and college level, and helping them break through to the next level of experience. So it's applicable to any area in life. But I do want to say before I close is that always remember that the process of empowering your mind is a process of self-awareness, of being able to look at yourself and decide who you want to be. And I'll just leave with this. One of the greatest gifts that we're each given as a human being in life is to decide, declare, and demonstrate who we choose to be in every single moment. We have that gift when the sun rises every single day. So there's always hope. This universe will never leave you. It will constantly provide. You have to do the work. You have to step up. You have to be willing to evolve and change the way you look at things. But if you do it, the magic is unbelievable that will occur in your life. And I'll close with the same statement that I opened with, which is, if you knew how powerful you really are, you would never stop smiling. Thank you so much for having me, Val and Raquel. I appreciate the opportunity to share this.